On a suffocating summer evening in St. Petersburg, a young former law student named Rodion Raskolnikov wanders the streets in poverty and restless thought. His tiny, rented room feels like a coffin suspended above the city. He is hungry, indebted, and ashamed. Yet his mind burns with an idea he believes will justify everything. He has convinced himself that humanity is divided into two kinds of people: the ordinary, who must obey the law, and the extraordinary, who may break it if doing so advances the world. Great figures of history, he thinks, have always stepped over moral boundaries. He longs to prove that he is one of them. To test this theory, he chooses a target, Alyona Ivanovna, an old pawnbroker who profits from the misery of the poor. He persuades himself that killing her will remove a harmful parasite and free resources for good deeds. Beneath this reasoning lie desperation, pride, and a hunger to escape his own insignificance. He plans the murder carefully, rehearsing every detail. When the moment comes, he kills the pawnbroker, but then her gentle, innocent sister Lizaveta unexpectedly enters the room. Panicked, Raskolnikov murders her as well. The second blow shatters his illusion of control. The act is done, yet instead of triumph, he feels horror. His theory has not elevated him, it has broken him. From this point forward, the true punishment begins. Raskolnikov is not chased by police, but by his own conscience. He wanders the city in fever and confusion, terrified that everyone sees through him. He hides from friends, quarrels with family, and sinks into isolation. His pride tells him he is superior. His soul tells him he is guilty. The struggle between these voices tears him apart. Around him, Dostoevsky reveals a world steeped in suffering. Raskolnikov encounters Marmeladov, a ruined drunk who has sacrificed everything to alcohol, and Sonia, Marmeladov's daughter, who has been driven into prostitution to feed her starving siblings. Sonia's life is tragic, yet she possesses a deep well of compassion and faith. Where Raskolnikov believes in cold intellect, Sonia believes in love and endurance. Their meeting becomes the moral heart of the story. Sonia senses Raskolnikov's torment. When he finally confesses his crime to her, she does not recoil. Instead, she urges him to accept responsibility, to bow before humanity, to admit his guilt openly, and to find redemption through suffering. Her quiet strength stands in stark contrast to his crumbling arrogance. Meanwhile, the investigator Porfiry Petrovich studies Raskolnikov with subtle brilliance. Rather than arrest him outright, Porfiry plays psychological games, nudging Raskolnikov towards self-exposure. He understands that a mind at war with itself will eventually betray the truth. Under this pressure, Raskolnikov's inner world collapses further. He realizes that no intellectual theory can silence conscience. At last, unable to bear the torment, Raskolnikov surrenders. He publicly confesses and is sentenced to hard labor in Siberia. There, among criminals and harsh conditions, he continues to resist humility until illness and despair finally break his pride. Sonia follows him to Siberia, visiting him faithfully, loving him without condition. Slowly something shifts. Raskolnikov begins to see that true greatness is not found in standing above others, but in sharing their suffering. He starts to feel compassion. He opens his heart. The novel ends not with a completed redemption, but with the first genuine stirrings of a renewed soul. The wisdom of crime and punishment lies deep within its psychological struggle. The mind cannot out-reason morality. Pride isolates and destroys. No theory can excuse cruelty. Compassion has greater power than intellect. Suffering when honestly faced, can cleanse and transform. And even the gravest sinner may find a path back to humanity. It is not merely a story of murder. It is a descent into the darkest corners of the human conscience and the quiet, fragile beginning of spiritual rebirth. Thank you for spending these minutes with Crime and Punishment. Some stories do not merely tell a tale. They invite us into the hidden chambers of the mind, where pride argues with conscience, where reason wrestles with mercy, and where a single choice can reshape a soul. If this reflection stayed with you, you're welcome to return for more narrated journeys like this. Stories that reveal their wisdom slowly, where inner truths speak louder than action, and where the echo of the final words lingers long after the story ends.